I stand before you today to announce
I believe in America, and I'm running for president
of the United States.
For President of the United States.
If you feel like presidential campaigns have gotten longer and longer and longer, you're not wrong. It was July of 2017 when former Congressman John Delaney launched his campaign this time around.
This is not a nation where success is a birthright.
More than 1,100 days before 2020 Election Day. That's about 600 days earlier than Ted Cruz.
It is a time for truth.
Who became the first major candidate to throw his hat in the ring in 2016. There are no official start dates in the American election process, so it's hard to say we have the longest in the world, but for comparison, in Australia, campaigns for federal elections are about 6 weeks long, while France usually lasts about 2 weeks, and campaigns for our neighbors to the north must be a minimum of 36 days and a maximum of 50 according to law. One of the main reasons for our lengthy cycles is the way in which we choose our president.
A presidential election's unique in that you have individuals who are expected to come up with their own campaign organization, fund it, get attention so that they can win the nomination, and then we have a series of caucuses and primaries. No other nation does that with a sequence that you have to master.
Michael Kornfield is a professor of political management at George Washington University. He says another reason for the increasing election length is the increasing cost of campaigns, which forces candidates to start fundraising earlier and earlier. The 2016 presidential election cost $2.4 billion. The most obvious impact of the almost continuous presidential cycle is boredom and exhaustion. In 2016, almost 60% of Americans polled by Pew said they felt election fatigue by the summer. And with more than 24 folks currently running for president, coverage of every town hall, rally, or speech on top of a table is basically nonstop. That length doesn't always equal a more informed electorate. Through the general election, candidates can spend less time on substantive issues and start to run more on their personality and begin to attack each other personally.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there.
My Social Security payroll contribution will go up, as will Donald's, assuming he can't figure out how to get out of it. But what we want to do is to replenish the Social Security Trust Fund.
There are at least a couple of upsides to a long federal election. The first is that more people get to meet and hear from the person who will eventually be running the country.
Those of us who are still idealistic about democracy and American politics think that, well, the necessity that somebody who's going to be as powerful of a president still has to go into a room, a town hall or a donors meeting, and convince people through conversation that their position and their capacity to lead is the best.
And those conversations can lead to little-known candidates becoming president. Very few people really knew who Presidents Obama and Clinton were a couple of years before they were elected.
There is something romantic about an underdog or a long shot making a move. The long process is just, I think, something that we have to embrace, because it's not going anywhere.